everyone, it's Sharronda from Pay or Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing Pose Season 3, the final season, which stars MJ Rodriguez, Billy Porter, India Moore, Dominique Jackson, and so much more, as this time we are in the 90s when we are still focusing on the LGBT community, especially with trans women, but also to delving deeper into the HIV/AIDS epidemic, along with the issues of capitalism, ballroom culture as a whole, and so much more. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came, I hope you stay. I tell you what I liked about the series, what I didn't like about the series, and is it worth your time watching Pose as it has its season 3 premiere with 2 episodes this Sunday starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on FX. So going into what I enjoyed about this series, first and foremost, I want to continue to talk about the representation. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was very worried when I heard that they were going to end with season 3. I had a chance to attend a press conference with the cast talking about this new upcoming season, and really hearing Steve talk about how this wasn't intended to be a long series, since they are really focusing on a specific period of time, as we started in the 80s and now we're into the 90s. But I think one of the things that I love about Pose and what we've seen throughout the course of these couple of years with these past 3 seasons is this focus on diversity. Not only looking at trans women and the LGBT community, but also specifically focusing on Black and brown people in these communities. I think that when we look at LGBT representation on television and in film, many times it ignores our communities. And as we delve into deeper issues throughout the course of this season, delving into religion with LGBT, delving into the HIV and AIDS epidemic, delving into the issues surrounding healthcare, marriage, and also too dealing with the crack epidemic that was happening in the 90s as well. What the show does right is it shows the multi-layered complexity surrounding these communities, surrounding trans women, surrounding the LGBT, but also too how that affects Black and brown people as we delve more into capitalism, as we delve more into politics, into health. I think they balance those stories so well. How they show the AIDS crisis, the HIV crisis that happened, how that affected so many people, how that affected these families, affected these communities during that time, and really how the world turned their back on them is just so well done. It's so well done how they have how they really delve into, with our main characters, how all of these issues were affecting them. But also too, what I do want to say is, I love that they delve deeper into the characters. You know, when you hear that it's the final season, it's kind of like, let's wrap everything up with a neat bow and go on about our day. But we get to learn so much more about backstory into certain characters, especially characters like Poppy, delving deeper into Elektra, kind of the relationships that she had prior to meeting all of these women. You get to see a lot more of her, and I would say that was one of the most interesting aspects of learning so much about Elektra, because she's changed so much from where we found her in season 1 to where she is now in season 3. And I think it was perfect timing to choose this season to actually show a little bit deeper into Elektra's past, because instead of her being this villain, she's a character that we've come to know and love, and it's a character that we genuinely care about. But also too, delving a little bit into Angel's character. Also too, Pray Tell has a very good story arc throughout the course of this season. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but one of the themes that we talk about is really religion. And I think that's something that still has so much more work to do, especially within the Black community. But delving into the storyline and religion and how religion treats the LGBT community, I think that it was so necessary and so important. And the episode is literally one of my favorites. It's done so well. But I also want to say they did not hold back, you guys. They did not hold back with some of the appearances that we have for some of the guests on the episodes. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I was like, you got them? And then you got them too? I said, okay, COVID didn't stop y'all. And speaking of COVID, you know, the production had to be put on hold in order to, you know, they're creating these ballroom scenes. They have so many people in some of these shots. And honestly, minus 1 or 2 shots, you truly don't feel as though that this was filmed during a pandemic. And I really want to give kudos to the ballroom scenes. There are some shots when they pan out just a little bit too much because you can see that it's a big empty space and they kind of have everyone closed in together to really give that effect that it's a packed ballroom. But I think they do such a fantastic job with the ballroom sequences. really, especially with, there's some big set pieces, there's some big things that happen to these characters that I think they did a really great job of not making you feel as though that it was filmed during a pandemic. I feel like with certain shows happening on television right now, you can truly tell that COVID was a hindrance to them. But I just think that they did such an amazing job, and it truly shows throughout the season how it plays out. Now, as we get into Sharona, do we get our happy ending? Now, even though these characters are delving into some serious struggles, serious storylines and really serious repercussions that happen to some of our characters throughout the course of the season, I think that it's so well done that you truly believe Steve when he said this was only meant to be a few seasons. And I will say that as I got into the series finale, which was filled with a lot of tears for me, I would have to say that they do a very great job of wrapping up all of our storylines while still giving us hope for these characters as we're introduced to our characters who are going on new journeys and walks in their lives. But I think that it was done very well. I do want to give kudos whoever was the music supervisor for this, and I'm so sorry that I forgot to look up your name before this review. You did that. I was jamming. I was just like, oh my goodness, I forgot all these bops came out in the 90s, but I was here for every single minute. And whoever's decision it was, and I believe that it was Janet Mock, I want to say, Janet, I appreciate you because you gave me the greatest gift of all of casting Jeremy Pope as a love interest for Blanca this season. And that's not a spoiler because y'all already knew that. But honey, that is a beautiful specimen. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. But overall for me, what I would have to say for the season 3 of Pose is that this is a story that has not only transformed this industry with monumental wins from Billy Porter, being the show that has cast the most trans actors in a series, especially showcasing the talents of Black and brown trans women and Black and brown LGBTQ people. I think that it hurts because with the season so good as this, that can end on such a high note, you just want to say, like, why can't we have more? But I think that season 3 of Pose is absolutely fantastic. I think fans will be very excited for the content that was given to them, even though it is only 7 episodes. I still felt very fulfilled. I didn't feel as though that there was a lot of filler, but most of all, we got to see satisfying conclusions for some of the characters that we've come to know and love over the course of the past 3 years. So to let you guys know what I would tell you to do with you and your time for FX Pose, I will tell you guys to watch it. If you haven't, you can go ahead and catch up. It's time. The new episodes don't premiere until this Sunday. You have time to binge 2 seasons. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. You will thank me later for watching it. But those are my thoughts on season 3 of Pose. As always, my name is Sharona from Payroll Waits, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit the notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.